My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is Tuesday, November 7th. That's more than 3.5 years of Torah and community, togetherness and comfort and strength every single day. Penny, I see you on Instagram. This is 921 times that we have come together as a community. Thank you. I see that you're reminding me. Thank you for that. It's so good to see you. Noah, beautiful to see you too. Linda, good to see you here on Facebook. Ron, Boker Tov. Sherry and Judy, Barry and Julie, good morning. It's good to see all of you. Give me a moment just to say good morning to everyone, as we have done for 3.5 years every single weekday morning. Let's learn a little bit, pray a little bit, sing a little bit, hold each other up, and daven for our family and friends in harm's way. Sharon and Ron, Amy, Debbie, Helen and Cecile, Anna, good to see you. A lot of people here, a lot of people there. Let's take a breath. But I mean it, let's take a breath. And in fact, it's a 2-breath morning. Take a breath. Okay. Good to see all of you, friends. Wherever you are, I hope that you and yours are safe and well. Let's sing a bracha for learning, ground ourselves in a little bit of spiritual wisdom for the morning, and then let's work our way into a day where we make the world better for everybody, starting with our family. Today, לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. All right, friends. Sherry, sending your other father hope and strength. Thinking of you. Glad to see all of you here. Let's learn a little bit of Torah. I'd like to do so in honor of my precious family, including my son Micah, who's here with us in this digital community. It's nice to see you, love. Waving hi, you're right up there. There is something incredibly important about this week's Torah portion that can be helpful for us right now. Here we are in Parshat Chayei Sarah, a Torah portion that is all about the life of Sarah, but not really. It's actually about the moment that Sarah dies, and yet we name it the death of Sarah. Why? Because, as is all too clear, in an individual's life, in a family's life, in a people's life, death often punctuates life. Certainly it's true we don't live forever, and given the massive scale of loss that we marked the Shloshim for yesterday, the 30 days since October 7th, yesterday, 10,000 of us gathered on the streets of Manhattan, and hundreds of thousands, if not more, gathered many places around the world to mark Shloshim. Death is very hard. And in our Torah portion for Yitzchak, it was really hard. But what also happens in this Torah portion shouldn't be forgotten. After Sarah dies, Yitzchak's mother, and after Avram negotiates for her burial place, very complicated text, which we talked a little bit about yesterday, he then thinks to the future. And we are not in the aftermath of October 7th, nor will we be for a very, 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 very long time, by which I likely mean generations, and even then. But what Avram does next has to be part of our Torah today, too. Avram then asks, begs, makes his servants swear that he will go and find the right kind of life partner, a wife, for his son Isaac. Now, you and I can conjecture why Isaac couldn't do it himself, but it doesn't take a lot of imagining to understand that Avram doesn't want to let his son out of his sight. He doesn't. It's too much. I'm carrying my children around my neck everywhere I go. My children who live locally in my life, my beautiful five, and our children and our grandparents, as it says, Halev Shalanu Shavui Ba'aza. Our heart is captive in Aza. This is incredibly real for us today. And like Avraham, they're out of our sight, and that is too much. It's not time for us to think about later yet, except weddings have happened during these last 31 days. Bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, like my own Micah's, has happened. They've happened during these last 31 days. Our hearts have been broken, but we have not missed the joy. We have not missed the love. The first love story in the Torah happens in Chayei Sarah. Yitzchak and Rivka meet. They see each other across a field, and they experience, I wrote a children's book about this, a love that knocks them off their camels. Yitzchak sees Rivka, and Rivka sees Yitzchak, and Rivka falls off the camel that she's riding. That's the life we want for our children, for all children. That's the life that we want for our people. Somehow, in the aftermath of what the text says is true for Yitzchak, that his heart is broken, when he's able to experience love, and that is a gentle thing I say to all of you friends, hand on heart, hand on heart. We have to have capacity in our heart during these dark, harsh days for love, for compassion. We have to be able to dream about the future. We have to vote today for a future that is healthy for people. We have to continue to engage in this world. It is good to see all of you, friends. It is good to see all of you. My heart is broken. How could it not be? Your hearts are feeling. How could they not? We're connected. We have found each other 921 mornings in a row. Sometimes the world feels a little bit better, and today it doesn't. And yet, we've got each other. I've got you. You've got me. Yesterday, I was blessed to do a book talk about this new book, Am Yisrael Chai, all the proceeds of which are going to support UJA's Emergency Israel Fund. I gave the talk at the JCCA headquarters downtown Manhattan for a group of leaders of a beautiful adult education organization called the Florence Melton Mini School. And I was there to teach. And I got to tell you, it felt good. My heart is broken. I cried a little bit, they cried a little bit. But we did a lot of breathing. Because Torah is meant to give us our breath back. Sometimes it tells us how not to act, and sometimes it just reminds us to be alive. And isn't that enough? Isn't it a Dayenu thing? To know that my heart is working so I can breathe. And because my heart is working and I can breathe, I can act. And because I can act, I can help. The worst thing would be for us to let our broken hearts paralyze us. It would be understandable. We have to take good care of ourselves and sometimes slow down. My wife has generated 4 concerts over the last week and raised $500,000 for our work in Israel. Even heroes sometimes need to rest. So, friends, I'm asking you to think about what you need today so that you can continue being of service to our people and to the world, so that you can pray through your broken hearts, through your tears, for those 241 souls, old and young, who have been out of our sight for 31 days. Call your elected officials after you breathe. Call your elected officials while you're breathing and say to them, it's been 31 days. Where is my family? Be a mosquito to your elected officials. Call until you get an answer. If you want something to read, it's not the happiest of books. Looks nice. Thanks to Joanne Fink. Buy something that helps you bear testimony, bear witness. Here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to pray a little bit. I don't know what you believe about God, but I do know that we can believe in each other, something bigger than the self. I don't know how you define your Zionism during peacetime, but for me, Zionism is the ethical use of power we wish we didn't need. This week, friends, this week we get to experience both loss and love. That's what's in this parsha. Loss. Our mother, Sarah. At the end of the parsha, Avram, our father. Loss. And this week we get to experience love, the possibility of tomorrow. Yitzchak brings his new wife, Rivka, into his mother's tent. And yes, Freud has a lot to say about that verse. But the text says he felt comfort. Comfort, my friends, comfort. Let's take a second. Let's pray. Friends, that song came out of my broken heart 3 weeks ago. It says, Oziv Zimrat Yah, God is my strength, God is my song. Again, I don't know what you believe, but I wish you the strength to sing, the choice to sing. Because as I have been teaching over and over and over again, sadness might not be a choice we get to make, but hopelessness is a sin in Jewish terms. We don't give up hope. I want to share one more prayer song with you, and I hope that wherever you are, it fills your heart. It fills your heart. You know, Leonard Cohen taught us that the broken heart, the cracks in our heart, that's where the light gets in. He might have been channeling an ancient midrash. He did grow up going to shul in Toronto that says God invites us to open our heart just big enough for a key, for a little crack, and God will find the way in. So I don't know what that means for you, but I do know that the love we need, the love our sisters and brothers, who I wear right next to my heart, closer than tefillin, they need this love. So wherever you are, sing with me, pray with me. Our soldiers in harm's way are manifestations of our love. They're doing things they shouldn't have to do. There's nothing gentle about this. It's too much. It just is. So I'm not praying from a place of casual sound making. I'm digging deep, reminding myself of my capacity to make a difference, to help. Somewhere within me praying for peace. I ask you to find something just before I start playing and focus on that. Let it pierce your heart. Let that broken part open up. Unclench your chest if it's at all possible. And ask the universe for our family's safety, for the return of 241 human beings, many Jews, 9 Muslims, a bunch of Christians, all sisters and brothers, babies. That's the work we're called to do right now, to align our hearts with theirs, and to ask God for help. I wrote this song almost 22 years ago. And who knows, maybe I wrote it for this moment. I wrote it for all the moments. Wherever you are, sing with me. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Olam chesed yivaner. Bring them home. Olam chesed yivaner. Olam chesed yivaner. Bring them home. Olam chesed yivaner. Say, bring them home with me. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Olam chesed yivaner. Olam chesed yivaner. Olam chesed yivaner. Olam chesed yivaner. Some of you have heard me talk about this when I was in Israel just last week, which feels like 20 years ago. I met with a survivor of the Shoah named Rena Quint, who's so eloquent. It was just amazing to hear her testimony. And she reminded us what it is to keep a promise your whole life, to carry our children and our ancestors, to pray despite it all, to live despite it all. So it's our turn. It really is. Yana na 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 na. And you must build this world from love. Promise with me. Yana na 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 na. And if we build this world from love, yana na 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 na, then God will build this world from love. Yana na 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 na. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yana na 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 na. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yana na 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 na. Bring them home. Bring them home. Friends, to bless us all. From my broken heart to yours. This week we learn about loss. We learn a lot about loss. This week we double down on love, on fierce love, on the love we demonstrate when we fight for our family, on the love that shows courage in the face of adversity. We double down on love today, again. Bring them home. Amen. See you tomorrow, friends. Take care.